Lego.
Hi, it's Nørgaard. So today I'm going to do a battle between two dupes. I have here two Farsáli Unicorn Essence dupes. So the first one is W7 Princess Potion and the second one is Technic Enchanting Elixir. So I don't actually have the Farsáli primer, but I thought we could test these dupes against each other to see which one is better. So the Farsáli one retails for $54 US for 30 milliliters. The W7 one retails for £5.95, also for 30 milliliters. And the Technic one retails for £8, also 30 milliliters. So Technic is slightly more expensive, but you can often find both W7 and Technic at discounted prices. When it comes to the look of the primers, the W7 one definitely looks most similar. It has the same kind of purple tube that the Farsáli one also has. The Technic one looks completely different. Personally, I think the Technic one looks a little more stylish, a little more, I don't know, it looks a bit nicer, more high-end. This one looks a little more like kids makeup. You know, it looks a little more like fun, I guess you could call it. And both of them have glass packaging and the drop style applicators. And the ingredients are actually very similar. The W7 one points out that it has hyaluronic acid, rosehip oil, sweet almond oil, aloe, argan oil, grape leaf and chamomile. And the Technic one says it contains hyaluronic acid, rosehip oil, argan oil and chamomile. So they kind of have the same key ingredients. Now the key ingredients in the Farsáli primer are different to these ones. The Farsáli primer has like Q10 and red algae in it, but it's very interesting to me that these two have so many similar ingredients. And also they are both pink, which you will see when I apply them on my face, and the Farsáli primer is also pink. And finally, both of them claim to give you a radiant complexion. That is like the #1 claim with both this primer and this primer. And for that matter, it's the same one for the Farsáli. It claims to be a glowing skin primer. So since these are both duping the same product and I don't actually have that product, I thought it would just be really fun to battle these against each other to see which one is the better primer. So I hope you guys like this kind of video. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And now, without further ado, let's get right into the demo and wear test. So I'm going to test these two primers side by side. We're going to do W7 over here and Technic over here. And I'm just going to shake both of them. So let's do a bit of W7. The W7 one smells like bubble gum. Real bad. It's a little much for me. I don't mind it in like a lip product, but in a face primer I feel like it's a bit overpowering. But it just glides on super easily. It's very thin, liquidy, and it's pretty glowy. Now we do Technic. The Technic primer also smells kind of bubblegummy, but a lot less intense than the W7 one. So I definitely prefer the scent of the Technic one, and they have basically the same consistency. This one is also thin, liquidy, just blends right in, and this one is also super glowy. So I feel like the W7 one is definitely glowy, but not as much as the Technic. And the Technic one also feels a little more tacky. So now we're going to apply some foundation, and I'm going to dab it out with a sponge, and we're going to see if the glow is different. The foundation applied beautifully on top of both primers. I was using a combination of Marc Jacobs and Revlon, by the way. You can still definitely see the glow peeking through on both sides. And these foundations are not glowy by themselves, so it's definitely the primers. And even though these primers, like main claim would be hydration, I feel like they actually did a great job of like smoothing out the pores. My foundation has not settled into my pores at all, and by now I feel like they look about the same when it comes to the glowiness. I feel like the Technic one is not really more glowy than the W7 by now. So I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup and I'll be back. Right now it's 3:15, so we shall see how my face looks later on. Hi you guys, I'm back. It is now 8:30, so it has been about 5 hours and 15 minutes. And as you can see, I have all my makeup on. I forgot to do a check-in once I was done with my face makeup, so I do apologize about that. But it basically looks the same. I finished my face makeup maybe about 3:30, about 15 minutes after I left you. And I used this essence powder. This is the You Better Work powder. And I used the Kylie Loose Translucent Setting Powder. And then I used shimmery bronzer, shimmery highlight, and matte pink blush. And no setting spray, of course. So that was about 5 hours ago. And as I said, the face makeup is basically looking the exact same. You cannot tell I have been wearing this for 5 hours. It looks super smooth. The pores are not accentuated. It doesn't look cakey whatsoever. It looks matte, but not in a heavy way. It just looks very like natural matte. I will zoom you in so you can see the skin up close. So this is the W7 side. I think it looks beautiful. You can see around the eyes, around the nose, it looks smooth and even. Very minimal texture. I think it looks great on the W7 side. Then we have the Technic side. Again, smooth around the nose, the under eye. It looks matte without looking cakey or heavy. Any shimmer you see up here is from Color Products. But down here you can see it looks matte. I really like both of these primers. Okay, it's now almost 9:30 and I'm super tired, so I'm going to end the wear test now. So my face makeup has been on for about 6 hours, which I think is a decent amount of time. I have done no touch-ups. So this is how it looks. And you guys, I am so impressed. I'm impressed with this one and I'm impressed with this one. I think my skin looks beautiful. I think both of them did great things for my makeup, for my skin. It just looks really flawless. It looks smooth, it looks radiant but not oily, which is really funny because I am super oily naturally. So I'm very impressed with the fact that my oils are not just breaking through these primers. I did use some good products on top, like my foundations and powders. But I will say that usually if I don't pre-powder my face before my foundation, almost no matter what foundation or powder that I use, I'm going to be oily. So I think it's just so funny how these are like radiant primers, but they still made sure my makeup really just looked the same as when I first applied it. Because they have no oil control claims, but as you can see, my oils are definitely controlled. Any shine you see like on my chin and the cheeks and the forehead would be from an actual highlighter. So I am just so incredibly pleased. And honestly, I think they look exactly the same. I don't see a difference from one side to the next. So I would go with either one of these dupes, depending on what is available for you, what is cheapest for you. And of course, depending on how you like your scents in your makeup. If you want it more strong, you can go for W7. If you want it more toned down, you can go for Technic. And that is basically it for today's video. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And that is all. So I will see you guys in my next video. So take care and bye bye.